that in the last couple of months.
Yeah, you mentioned labor at the very beginning. There's a specific labor issue going on in your state. The SEIU basically lobbied to the administration about these health care cuts that were being worked on with Governor Schwarzenegger and health care workers in the state who were going to take some cuts because the state is facing a real fiscal budget deficit. It could result in the administration not giving $6.8 billion of the fiscal stimulus package to you guys. What's the backstory here, and why the tit for tat?
I'll tell you, this is outrageous. And as a former mayor and chairman of San Diego County, to have the administration basically try to extort a renegotiation of a contract with a labor union just because we're trying to balance the budget back in California, something I wish that Washington was more serious about. But this was really an issue of probably, follow the money. Was it $30 million that this union gave to the administration? And I think there are people in Washington who think that they owe the union everything and don't owe the people of California anything. And I think that this is one of those frustrations you have, that this so-called stimulus package is not necessarily about helping as much as control. And I think this is a good example. If the administration really wants to help the state of California, it will help and not obstruct the balancing of the budget.
I mean, look, there's two things I want to point out. Number one, the president on Monday said no decision had been made on whether or not they were going to rescind the funds. Then you also had the spokesperson for the U.S. of Health and Human Services, because I understand Kathleen Sebelius, the Health and Human Services Secretary, was notified about this, who also said no final determination. But what is this? What is the root of this? Is this about union labor contracts, or is this about getting out of the fiscal straits that we're in, dire straits in many cases, particularly in the state of California? I mean, I don't understand this.
Alexis, you remember the words, let no crisis go unexploited. I think what you're starting to see is that the financial crisis that California is in many states now is being looked at as an opportunity to pay back for political contributions and support that happened the last election. And this is the kind of cynical politics that people wanted to see a change. This is not what the American people voted for. They wanted to see these kind of tactics left in the past and moving forward to a fresh, new approach where everyone is treated fairly and that Washington doesn't try to coerce and extort policies out of the local community. The Governor Schwarzenegger was represent the people of California just as much as Obama was elected to be president of the United States. And for the executive branch in Washington to try to dictate to the people of California when and how we can balance our budget, I think is not only fair, I think it totally violates the entire concept of separation of powers under our Constitution. They got to go back and read that section and understand that they shouldn't be doing this. And I think it's going to hurt the credibility of the new administration to start off with this kind of Chicago hardball politics.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, reading about it this morning, I was incredibly shocked about it, and I hope it's not the case in other states. But, when they said fair and open disclosure about contracts, particularly as it related to, R&D or specifically infrastructure here, they said it was going to be an open bidding process. You start to wonder when you hear things like this. All right, well, Congressman Brian Bilbray, wonderful having you on. I know we could continue the conversation, but I'm going to get the hook.
Thank you, Alexis. But appreciate it. If they do this to the governor, imagine what they'll do if they can get away with this with the governor or what they do with other governors.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Thanks so much.